So welcome everyone. Happy Tuesday. So we'll just get started our practice today on our backs. So you can find a comfortable place there. If for any reason your back doesn't feel comfortable today, you can always land and seated and then meet on our back when we start to move. Okay, you can take any small movements along the way to land yourself in stillness. And then just start to become aware of your breath. Notice how your breath is just moving on its own beat. And that it creates this rhythm of the body. Perhaps even this rhythm of the body, similar to beat of the music. That these rhythms are really the steadiness. The steadiness that we can come back to when we get lost. That we don't have to control the beat of the music or rhythm of our breath. That's just simply there. And then we get to add on all of these other layers of the practice. Take your hands onto your belly or even to the sides of your rib cage, allowing your fingertips to wrap to the front. And just start to feel that expansion and contraction, starting from the inside all the way out. And can you imagine that this movement is all starting from a light deep within? And then as you inhale, the light is shining brighter and brighter and beginning to expand to the outer edges of your body. And as you exhale, the light doesn't dim, but your body just starts to soften. Expanding and contracting. Let's take one more breath just like that. And then gently, you can begin to release your arms. If you aren't seated, come all the way down onto your back and take a giant good morning stretch. Reach your arms overhead, extend your legs out. Okay. As you inhale, reach from your fingertips all the way to your toes. And then as you exhale, just soften into place, but stay in that elongated shape. Inhale, breath to expand, create space. And exhale to soften. Take one more giant breath here. Inhale, reach to the fingertips, point through the toes, see if there's a little bit more room to grow. And then exhale, gently release. Gather your right knee in towards your rib cage. Hands land on top of your right shin. You take your right knee more towards your right armpit. Extend through your left foot. Turn your left toes up towards the ceiling. Flex into that foot. And then reach your left heel away from your body as your right knee draws in closer. Feel the effort that your hands are doing within this shape. And then start to bring that effort more into the core. Draw your belly button down into your spine. Knit your bottom two ribs and hip bones together. All right, flex into your right foot if you aren't already. Slowly begin to release the grip of your hands, but keep your right knee where it is. Take your hands above your shoulders. Flex into your hands as though you're stepping your hands onto the ceiling. And then pulse your right knee 5 times and towards your right armpit or your right shoulder. So just try to draw the knee in closer and then apart, closer and then away for 3, for 2, for 1. Gently take your hands back to your right knee. Draw your right knee through center. Release the grip of your right fingertips, and then left hand allows your right knee to cross your body into a supine twist. Take 4 full breaths in your twist. Allow the rhythm of your body to become really clear again within your practice. Allow yourself the space just to slow down in towards this rhythm, rather than trying to race the rhythm to catch up with us. Come all the way back up through center with your right knee. Slide your left heel in and then cross your right ankle over top of your left thigh. Optional, you can stay here or float your left foot off of your mat and interlace your hands behind your left hamstring or on top of your shin. Soften into your hip creases, allowing your knees to draw closer to your body. Now you're welcome to stay here, or you can play with, once again, using your core to draw the legs in, releasing your hands. Hands come up towards the ceiling again. This time, bend into your elbows and take your elbows onto your right shin. And then feel your left toes and wrap them around your left, or your right toes, right toes wrap around your left arm. The upper arm bone just above the elbow, and then see if you can hold here in an active lengthening. So press your elbows into your shin, wrap your toes in towards your arm, and then press your arm back in towards your toes. Hold for 1 more full breath in. And then exhale, gently release. Allow your left foot to come towards the earth. Release the right foot down. Walk your feet wide and gently drop your knees to the right and over to the left. And washing out that sensation, some of the effort. And even here, as you move your knees side to side, you come back into rhythm of the breath. You might even notice that you need to slow down a little bit. Need to just take your time. All right, next time that your knees come up through center, pause and heel toe your feet in close. Extend your right leg out long. Draw your left knee into your chest. Hands interlace on top of your left shin or behind the hamstring. Wind relieving pose. Notice how this shape feels in the right hip now. As your left knee travels towards your left shoulder, should feel a nourishing lengthening in the front of that right hip that was just in compression. Maybe you feel the rise and fall of your belly as you invite in full diaphragmatic breath. Start to take the effort of this pose more into the core, more into your legs, so you can start to unwind your hands. Hands reach up towards the ceiling above your shoulders, and then take in a couple pulses. So we're going to go for 5, 4, 3, 2. Feel your core contract. 1. Gently release hands onto your shin again. Bring your knee across your body, and then release your left hand to come into that twist. Okay. Just about 4 full breaths, long and smooth. Making sure that as we start to warm up the body and heartbeat quickens, that we don't lose this connection to long, steady breath. Unwind back through center. Slide your right heel up, cross left ankle over right thigh. Optional to stay here for the next little bit, or float your right foot away from your mat, thread the needle, hands interlace on your right leg, wherever is comfortable. You can add in a little bit of extra guidance through the hands and arms, maybe floating left knee away from your body. Choose whatever depth that you feel comfortable with this morning. Now you're welcome to stay here if this is what your body is craving, the opening and lengthening. If you want to work a little bit more into the strength, reach your arms once again over your shoulders and then bend into your elbows, palms up towards the ceiling. So this is a little bit of a deeper opening even for the hip to come into this shape. Try to wrap your left toes around your right upper arm. And as your toes press into your arm, press your arm back into your toes. You should feel a lot more effort of the core, of the hips, of the upper body. Can you press your back of your arms or elbows into your shin? Hold just for one more breath in this effort. And then whatever shape you're in, you can gently release and unwind. Once again, wash your knees left and right, left and right. Bring your knees back up through center. Extend your legs long. One more giant stretch for the morning. Reach your arms overhead, point through the toes, full breath in. Exhale, take your knees into your chest, hands to the backs of your knees this time. Start to rock and roll up and down the length of your spine. Beautiful. All right. When you take this last roll, begin to land onto your seat. So you'll have crossed ankles and then slide your hands forward. Uncross your ankles so that you land onto your shins. You can take shins hip width distance apart and then walk your hands back so that your heels and hips connect. Okay, interlace your fingers. Flip your palms out in front of you, like you're pushing a wall away with your palms. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, send your hands further in front and curl and round back. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. Inhale, breath. Start to stand up onto your shins. Hands come up towards the ceiling. Squeeze your glutes at the top. Exhale, lower down hips to heels, and then curl and round through the spine. Let's take 3 more of those. Inhale, reach the palms up, gaze might follow. Exhale, lower hips back down and round in. Inhale, breath, reach up. Exhale, follow the slowness that your breath offers you, curl and round. One more time, inhale, breath, reach up. Exhale, release, down and round. Okay, this time, inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, pause the body, but release the arms down behind you and interlace your fingers. Roll your shoulders up and down. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Draw your knuckles towards the earth as you lift through the sternum. Notice if you're flaring your rib cage out and dumping into the low back. Draw your hip bones up towards your bottom 2 ribs. See if you can lengthen a little bit more. And then as you exhale, gently release the grip of your hands and walk your fingertips forward. Okay, meeting into tabletop. Shoulders stack over top of your wrists, hips over top of your knees. Tuck your toes under to help with stability. All right. Extend your right heel back behind you, straightening out the leg, lengthen through the spine. Now, if this doesn't feel good with left toes tucked, you can untuck the toes and just really press through the top of the left foot. Bend into your right knee. So you should feel this into the hamstrings, back of the right leg. You can always play with lifting the heel up higher without dumping the belly button down. So keep that strong, long line of the back. Take a full breath in. Exhale, right knee to your nose, curl and round. Inhale, breath, right heel lifts up towards the ceiling. Exhale, curl and round in. Let's take 2 more. Inhale, breath, right heel lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Last one, inhale, extend right heel up. Exhale, right knee to your nose. This time, extend your right heel straight back behind you. Okay, slowly lower your right toes towards the earth. Turn and pivot to the right side of your mat. Left toes point back behind you, and right hand peels up to the ceiling for a modified side plank. Reach over towards the front of your mat with your right hand. Long line through the side body. Start to circle your right hand towards the earth. Reach your right fingertips back behind you, maybe even grazing the wall behind you. And continue to take these giant circles with the breath. So making sure that half of your circle follows half of your breath, and then the other part of the breath follows out the rest of the circle. Now let's take one more circle just like that. The next time that your fingertips go to swivel forward, release your right hand towards the earth and turn and pivot back towards the front of your mat. Right leg still extended and toes tucked. Left leg still bent, toes tucked. Okay, press into your hands. Lift your hips up and tuck your left knee in towards your chin. So you're coming to a variation of down dog, and then slowly lower your left shin down, coming back into this prep pose. Inhale, breath. Press into your hands and your right toes. Float your left shin away from the earth. Rise the hips into a down dog shape. Exhale, slowly lower back down. 2 more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale to lower. 1 more time. Inhale, breath, lift up. And exhale to lower. Slide your right knee in, meeting back into tabletop. Turn your hands out towards the sides of your mat and back around to point towards your knees, one at a time. Fronts of your wrists start to point forward. If you know that you go into hyperextension with the elbows, walk the hands a little closer. Just make sure you can have a soft bend in the elbows. Play with a little bit of movement, shifting side to side, forward, back. You can create figure 8 shapes with the body. Just feel a really soft, gentle opening into the fronts of the wrists. You don't have to push anywhere. Allow even this movement to just be nourishing. And then release back through center. Slowly start to turn your hands one at a time. Point fingertips forward. Keep your hips above your knees. Walk your hands towards the top of your mat, landing onto forearms for melting heart. Forehead roots down. Optional to bring palms together in a prayer and float your hands up and over top of your head towards your spine with thumbs and fingers pointing down towards your hips. Hollow out through your armpits. Melting heart pose, literally think of the name of the pose. You're melting your heart to the earth. Notice any resistance, and can you send your breath through that resistance? So not maybe physically sending the breath, but can you send the intention of the breath? The expansion and openness of the inhale, the softness of the exhale. Take 2 more breaths exactly as you are. If your hands are in prayer, release your palms towards the earth. Walk your hands back up in towards your body, tabletop. Spread your fingertips wide. Inhale, breath, drop the belly down. Rise the gaze, lift the heart. Exhale, curl and round through the spine. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. Press the earth away. Come all the way back to tabletop, finding a neutral ground between those 2 shapes. Optional to tuck the toes for a little bit more balance or press through the top of the foot. Extend your left heel back behind you. Check in that your core is engaged, belly button zipped up to your spine. Flex into your left heel and then bend into your left knee. Left heel lifts up towards the ceiling to engage the glutes and hamstrings. Take a full breath in. Exhale, curl and round through the spine, knee to nose. Inhale, breath. Kick back and up, keeping the bend in the knee. Exhale, knee to nose. 2 more breaths just like that. Inhale, reach through the heel. Exhale, contract through the core. Last one. Inhale, breath, lift left heel up. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend left heel back behind you. Lower your left toes to the earth. Turn and pivot to the left side of your mat. Modified plank. Left fingertips guide all the way up. Sweep your left hand towards the top of your mat and then start to circle the arm on your own timing. You'll start to find where the movement and breath collide as one, and then you start to follow that rhythm. You can always reach open through the rib cage. Instead of even reaching up to the ceiling, reach back behind you. Take one more full circle in this shape. And the next time your fingertips reach up and over, pivot your left hand towards the earth, meeting back to face towards the top of your mat. Prepping for your down dog lifts. Press into all 10 fingertips. Inhale, lift the hips. Take right knee into your nose. Exhale, lower your shin back down. Inhale, breath, lift up. Hover the right leg. Exhale, lower. We have 2 more. Inhale, press into the hands, lift out of the wrists. Exhale, lower down. Last one. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower. Bring your left knee beside your right, tabletop. Tuck your toes under, walk your hands back to your body and sit your hips onto heels with toes tucked. Reach around, grabbing for your pinky toes. And just tuck those under as well. They like to be little escape artists. Okay. Take your hands out in front of you, interlacing your fingers. If at any point this feels like too much, just lean a little bit further forward, but try to keep a flat back so core is engaged. And try to draw figure 8 with your wrists. It might feel a little bit awkward, but it'll also just start to release any tension, create some fluid into your synovial joints. Okay, the fun part of this, to start to get the mind working, now switch directions and move that figure 8 the other way. Sometimes it takes a little bit, kind of like patting your head and rubbing your belly. All right, you can gently release the grip of your hands. Slide your hands forward enough that you can untuck your toes. Slowly sit your hips back onto your heels, once again landing onto your shins. Optional, you can stay here. You can walk your hands back if that feels okay for the knees. Optional, as long as there's no pulling in your knees, to float your knees off of your mat to get deeper into the tops of the feet and ankles. Hold for 3 breaths wherever you are. Slow down the breath so that you're not meeting the high energy of the practice necessarily by trying to speed up the breath. Meet the energy of your practice by intention of the breath. So you're taking really deep inhales to fill up with energy and exhales to release any tension, anxiety, worry. Gently release your knees down. Walk your hands forward, back to tabletop. Tuck your toes under, float your knees and lift your hips. First full down dog of your practice. Okay. You can always shorten or lengthen the stance. Might feel nice to pedal out the feet, especially for the backs of the calves after those last couple of poses. Start to slow down this movement and meet into stillness, but still feel into the fluidity of your body. Head hangs heavy. So as you inhale, you might feel a slight lift of the hips up as you press into the earth. As you exhale, a melting of your heels, softening through the chest. Let's take one more breath just like that. Okay, ripple through the spine. Take your time, slowing down with the breath. Full inhale brings you to plank. Lift up high into the balls of the feet. Start to round from low back all the way forward towards your shoulders, and shoulders land over wrists. Exhale, ripple back, downward facing dog. 2 more movements with breath, just like that. Inhale, shift forward, belly button curls into the spine. Exhale, lift from the hips. Send your weight back to your heels. 1 more time, just like that. Inhale, breath, shift forward. And exhale, ripple back. And looking to the top of your mat. Tippy toe your way there so you start to find some length in the backs of the legs, and you don't worry about having to get somewhere, but really just being in that moment. Okay, once you've landed at the top of your mat, ragdoll pose, just drape the body. Might feel nice to sway side to side. You can always reach for opposite elbows or just drape the hands along the earth, finding a little bit of fluidity. Come back to stillness. Inhale, breath, halfway lift and lengthen. Engage the core. Reach the crown of your head forward, hips back. Okay, exhale, fold. Okay, let's try that again, a little bit different this time. Inhale, breath. Reach the crown of the head forward, hips back. Now pause. Check in with your spine if you're dipping the belly down, if you're cranking the head up. You begin to bring your spine to one long line. And now imagine you want a greater view, like you're looking over the edge of a cliff. Tip more weight into the balls of your feet. Feel the backs of your hamstrings really, really fire up. Exhale, fold. Okay. See if you can find that shape just on one breath. Inhale, halfway lift, tip the weight forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold. Bend into your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, stand tall. Exhale, gather your hands through heart center. Transfer your weight into your right foot. Hands back at heart center so you can keep them here. Lift your left knee up to hip height and flex into your left foot like you're stepping onto a platform. Slowly kick your left heel out in front of you. Extend the leg, lift through the toes. Pull the belly button in. Step your left foot back, meeting into a crescent lunge. Okay. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, soften through the shoulders. Maybe find more depth into that front knee. Inhale is an energetic lift of the body. And exhale, an energetic grounding. Okay. 1 more breath, just like this. Gently release your hands to frame your front foot. Step your right toes back, high plank. Roll to the pinky side edge of your left foot, side plank. Optional, lower the left shin like we did earlier, or you can keep the left foot down. Right hand rises. Reach your right fingertips over to the front of the room. Just take 1 full circle. Circling the right hand towards the ground, back and up. Meet back to high plank, right hand plants down. Take a full breath in. Exhale, ripple through the spine, downward facing dog. Walk your big toes together to touch. Inhale, right heel lifts up. Exhale, bend into your right knee, stack into your hips. As you exhale, take your right knee to your right elbow, shoulders over top of your wrists. Hold here. On your next inhale, can you lift the knee up higher in towards your right armpit? Exhale, sweep the right toes back, 3-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to your nose. Hold. See if you can lift the thigh to chest. Exhale, breath, sweep the foot up and back. Send your right knee across your body to your left elbow. Hold for an inhale, and as you do so, lift your leg into the body. Exhale, breath, sweep up and back. Take a full breath in. Exhale, right foot plants towards the top of your mat, warrior 1. Pivot your back foot. Use your inhale breath to rise the arms up. Beautiful. Interlace your hands behind your back. Roll your shoulders up and down. As you inhale, lift through the sternum. As you exhale, hinge forward and fold, humble warrior. Hands can float off of your low back. Okay, don't get too comfy here because we're gonna start to move through this. Root through the feet so that you feel supported. If you feel a little bit wobbly, you can always heel toe your right foot a little bit further out, but I would release the hands to support you first and then take hands back. All right, inhale breath, slowly start to rise up. Hands come back to your low back, stand tall. Exhale, hinge forward. Use a flat back to come all the way down, and then you can start to round once you feel supported by the thigh. 2 more breaths just like that. Inhale, lift up, reach the knuckles towards your left heel. Exhale, root towards the earth. Last one, inhale breath to rise, and exhale, humble warrior. Take a full breath in, a long breath out. Release your hands to your low back and then all the way towards the earth inside of your front foot. Turn onto your back toes. You can always heel toe the right foot out a little bit further. If it feels like your hips stop you in this pose, grab blocks for your hands so that you have a little bit more height in this shape. Okay, take a full breath in. As you exhale, bend into the elbows, almost like you're coming into a chaturanga, but supported by that front foot. Okay, if you want to make this more challenging, lift the back knee up. If you want to be more supported, keep the back knee dropped. Okay, straighten out those arms again, and we're going to take 3 lowers. Take a full breath in. Exhale, lower down halfway, elbows sweep the sides of your rib cage. Inhale, press up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press back up. Release your knee down if it's lifted. You can release your blocks. And then roll to the pinky side edge of your right foot. So you're getting a little bit deeper into an opening rather than strengthening. Releasing that right hip. Optional, you can come down onto your forearms. If the bind or twist in lizard feels like you need it this morning, you're welcome to take that. You have about 3 more breaths within this shape. Gently release your hands towards the earth. Heel toe your right foot back in between, between your hands. Tuck your back toes to lift your back knee. All right, let's close out this sequence the way we came in. Inhale breath, rise up, crescent lunge. Okay, hands can come to heart center. Find some buoyancy into that back knee. Standing tall onto your right leg, left knee hugs into your chest. Kick your left heel all the way out, extend, and then slowly lower your left heel to meet your right. Inhale, breath, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale, breath, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step your toes back, high plank. Optional to take this from the knees. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga, lower halfway, similar to what you just did with lizard. Inhale, untuck the toes. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Exhale, down dog, lift the hips up and back. Take a full breath in. Take a long breath out. All right, looking forward to the top of the mat. You're welcome to step there. If you want to play with a little bit of inverting, take a deep bend into your knees. Hips come back towards the heels. On your inhale, spring forward, kicking heels in towards your tailbone and landing somewhere near the top of your mat. Okay, if you need to walk yourself up, totally fine. Inhale, breath, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. Bend into your knees. Inhale, breath. Sweep the arms all the way up. And exhale, hands gather through heart center. Take a full breath in and a long breath out. Okay, feel the beat of your heart. It might feel like it's racing a little bit, especially with all the work and a little bit of movement we did with those last few poses. So just steady the breath around your heartbeat. You might notice that your heartbeat starts to slow with the breath. Notice any urgency to get moving, to get somewhere. Can you just slow it down to be in this moment? Breath in and breath out. Give your body the rest and nourishment that it needs to continue forward. Inhale, breath, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, gather hands through heart center. Shift your weight into your left foot, picking up your right heel. Slowly rise your right knee up to hip height. Flex your foot like you're stepping onto a box. Kick your right heel away from the body, keeping the length of the spine, so making sure that you're not hinging at the hips, even if that means that your foot lowers a little bit. Lift a little higher through the toes. Slowly, slowly, slowly step right toes to the back of your mat. High lunge. Reach the arms towards the ceiling. Even though you are in a fairly stable pose, can you feel the fluidity? The inhales where you energetically lift through the fingers, maybe even lift slightly out of that front knee. And exhales where you deepen into the pose, perch up higher onto your right foot. Feel the movement of the breath extend out and towards your limbs. Release your hands down to frame your front foot. Step your left toes back, high plank. Roll to the pinky side edge of your right foot, side plank. Inhale, left hand grazes towards the ceiling. Take one full circle, left fingertips reach forward, down, back, and up. Gently release your left hand to the earth, turn back, high plank. Full breath in. Exhale, ripple through the spine, downward facing dog. Walk your big toes together to touch. Inhale, left heel rises. Exhale, left knee to left shoulder, shoulders over wrist. Use your inhale to lift the knee higher. Exhale, left foot sends back. Take a full breath in. Exhale, left knee to your nose. Use your inhale to lift higher. Exhale, sweep the foot back. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, left knee crosses your body, opposite elbow. Try to lift the knee up in towards your right armpit. Sweep your left foot all the way back and up. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Pivot the back foot, warrior one. Use your inhale to rise. Okay. Especially if you know you had some shifting happening last time, you can always widen the stance right from the start. Take your left foot further out towards the left side of your mat. Interlace your hands behind your back. Roll the shoulders up and down. Root through your back heel. Equal weight into your feet even as you dive forward. Inhale to lift through the heart. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Reach the crown of the head forward, and then you can start to curl and round the spine, and hands can float off of your low back. Use a couple of breaths you have in this shape to create a landing point for where you're going to be going for the next few breaths. So feel this in your body. Feel the activation of your legs, of your core, and then start to slowly rise. Keep that length in the spine so that we're not rounding and dumping anywhere in the back. Exhale, hinge forward. Hands can stay connected to low back or they can float off. We have two more. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to hinge forward. Okay. Last one. Inhale, rise, press into the earth. Exhale, lower. Release your hands to your low back if they're lifted, and then take your hands to the inside of your front foot. Turn your back toes, and you can always take your left heel out further. Okay, optional, lower your back knee if you want for a little bit more support, or keep it lifted for more challenge. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, start to bend into your elbows, creating maybe even a 90-degree bend. Should feel this into the left hip, the right hip, strength into the arms. Hold for one more breath. And then we're gonna lower down 3 more times. So press into the ground, straighten out the arms. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press and straighten. Exhale, lower. One more time, inhale, press and straighten. Exhale, bend the elbows. Straighten out those arms, release your knee down if it was lifted, and then you can start to make your way into whatever variation of lizard you did on the first side. Maybe you rolled to the pinky side edge of that left foot. Maybe you bound the back foot. So really just give yourself an opportunity to release any of the tension and the muscles that were contracting to stabilize that last pose, and just give yourself a little bit of a space to reset. Couple more breaths. Come back up onto your hands. Heel toe your left foot more to the center of your mat. Tuck your back toes to lift your back knee. On an inhale, rise to crescent lunge. Exhale, take your hands to heart center. Find some buoyancy into that back knee. Step to the top of your mat, right knee in towards your chest. Kick your right heel out in front of you. Hold for an inhale. And exhale, lower to stand. Inhale, breath, fill up. And exhale. All right. Inhale, breath, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale, breath, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold, plant your hands, step your toes back, high plank. Inhale, breath, shift forward. Exhale, lower halfway, squeeze elbows to the sides of the rib cage. Inhale to your up dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. And a long exhale, breath out. Looking forward, step or hop your way towards the top of your mat. Inhale, breath, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. Bend into your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, gather your hands through heart center. Once again, shift your weight into your right foot, picking up your left knee to hip height. Flex into the left foot. Cross your left ankle over top of your right thigh. Standing figure 4. You're welcome to pause here, or you can begin to hinge at the hips, sending your hips back, heart draws forward. Okay, work on the balancing of this shape. So hands can stay at heart center, or you can always take your hands to wrap left hand onto your left thigh, right hand onto your foot. And as you actually press in with the hands, this can help to balance, just as pressing your hands together at heart center brings you into a little bit more stability. Okay, feel into any shakiness, but keep that slow, steady breath. Especially in balancing poses and challenging poses, we tend to race the breath and lose it. Okay. Draw your belly button into your spine. Inhale, breath, slowly stand tall. Lift the left knee up, uncrossing your leg. Step your left toes towards the back of your mat, crescent lunge. Inhale, breath, reach the arms up. Exhale, release your hands down to frame your front foot. Just straighten out your front leg for a moment and fold. You can always step your back foot a little bit further up if you'd like. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. Bend back into your front knee, planting through your hands. Inhale, breath, 3-legged dog. Take your right toes all the way up. Bend into your right knee, stack into your hips. Take your right knee to right elbow, shoulders over wrists. Optional, pause here. Optional, bend the elbows like you do in chaturanga or did in lizard earlier, and take your right knee onto the back of your arm. Other option, float your left toes off of your mat to come into an arm balance. All right, you can always lower the right foot down if you need to press the arms up. Inhale, breath, sweep your right toes all the way up towards the ceiling. Exhale, cross your body, right knee to your left elbow. This time, kick out the foot, falling star. Turn and plant the back foot. Both hands can stay down or right hand only, and then left hand reaches up. If you want to play a little bit more with balance, optional, float your left foot away from the earth. Release your left hand back down. Inhale, breath. Take your right toes high to the sky. And then exhale, step through. One more time, crescent lunge. Inhale, breath. Reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, soften into the shape. Bending into your back knee, start to spring forward to the top of your mat. Lifting the arms up, lifting the knee up. Hands come through heart center. Cross your left ankle over top of your right thigh. Hinge at the hips, start to bring your heart towards your shin, and then release your hands down towards the ground. If you can't reach the ground, great place to take your hands onto blocks. This should feel like a nice release for your left hip. If you want to play into an arm balance, if your hands are down, now is a really good place to start. Okay, so you start to bend into your standing leg. That's going to bring your hips down and your left shin lands onto the backs of your arms. Flex into your left foot, and those left toes are actually going to wrap around your right arm. So they're wrapping around the back of your right tricep. Now you can just stay here. You can play with shifting your weight forward and back, almost like you're in a rocking chair. Once you've taken all that weight into your fingertips, you'll be really light on the right toes, and you can just play with floating the right toes off the mat. Okay, I am demoing if you wanted to see this shape. With the hands planted, you might need to walk them out slightly in front of you. If you want to play with the deeper inversion, once the right foot is lifted, you can extend the right toes back. Okay, wherever you are in this shape, we'll just be for a few more breaths. But know that this is just giving you the information that at some point in the future, maybe this is something you try. So don't worry if you're not fully coming into this, just enjoy kind of wherever you're at within the practice. Okay. If you are all the way down, you'll slowly start to rise the hips. Bring your hands to heart center, and then lift the upper body all the way up. Untangle your legs and step to mountain. Release your hands down, palms face forward. Roll the shoulders up and back. Take a full breath in and a long exhale, breath out. Okay, let's take 2 more breaths just like that. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, release. One more slow, smooth breath in. And exhale. Inhale, breath, reach up. Exhale, take your hands to heart center. Shift the weight into your left foot. Pick up your right knee. Cross right ankle over your left thigh. Okay, standing figure 4, you can pause here or start to hinge at the hips. Okay, don't worry if you fall out of this. Always optional, especially if this is the more challenging side, to take a hand onto the wall or onto a table. Hands can stay at heart center if you like that variation. Left hand to your right foot, right hand to your right thigh, and just press in through center. Feel the steadiness of your standing leg. And then slowly, let's come all the way back up, hands to heart center. Pick up your right knee, step your right toes all the way back. Okay, inhale, breath, reach through the arms. Exhale, soften into your right hip. One more breath in. Exhale. Release your hands down to frame your front foot. Straighten out your front leg to give a little bit of release to the hamstrings and calf. Optional if you need, you can step your right foot up. Drape the body, tucking chin to your chest. Keep the breath nice and slow and steady, rather than trying to force it to speed up with the energy of your practice or any anxious energy that you're feeling. 3-legged dog. You can always step your right toes further back. Press into your hands. Inhale, take your left foot high to the sky. Exhale, left knee to your left elbow, shoulders over wrists. Bend into your elbows if you did on the other side, setting up for an arm balance. Left inner thigh lands on the back of your left arm. Optional to play with lifting your right toes away from the earth, leaning a little bit more weight into your fingertips. All right, straighten out the arms. Inhale, breath, three-legged dog. Left foot sweeps up. Exhale, cross your body. Left knee to your right elbow, falling star. Kick out your left foot. Inhale, maybe the right arm reaches up. Maybe your left foot floats off of your mat. Reach the right hand back down. Inhale, left toes high to the sky. Last little bit. Exhale, crescent lunge. Left foot plants. Inhale, arms lift. Find some buoyancy into that back knee. Setting up for standing figure four once again. Shift the weight forward, knee lifts. Hands to heart center. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. As you hinge towards the earth, if you can bring your hands onto something, this is going to give you a little bit more stability so you can actually just come into the ease of the hip opener. If you're coming into the arm balance, hands need to meet the earth, and you can even walk your hands a little bit further out in front so that when you bend the elbows, you have that space to take your right shin onto the backs of your arms. Most important to hold the arm balance, you need to hook your right toes around your left arm, that you're pressing the arm to the foot, foot into the arm. Okay, amazing. If you want to play with that last little bit, maybe you float your left toes off of your mat in the arm balance. Whew. All right, let's come all the way back up. Slowly lifting away from the earth, hands to heart center. Lift your right knee up, and then as you exhale, gently release your foot down. Hands come down beside your body. Roll your shoulders up and down. And just honor the beat of your heart and the rhythm of your breath. Take a couple of deep breaths, just allowing room for your breath to move. Maybe feeling the fast pace of your heart, and kind of counteracting that with the coolness, the slowness of your breath. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, breath, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step your toes back, high plank. Lower onto your knees and just lower yourself all the way down towards the earth. Okay, broken wing or awkward shoulder pose. Bring your left cheek to your mat. Extend your left arm out beside you like a T shape. So left fingertips pointing out to the side of the room. Optional, you can always cactus the arm as well, or diamond shape. Left elbow points out. Okay. Right hand plants beside your shoulder or beside the right side of your rib cage. You'll just use that hand to slowly roll yourself towards your left hip. And make sure that this nourishes the body rather than feels like it's adding intention. You've done all the work. I promise there's no more hard work left. This is meant to bring you back down into that alignment and energy of the breath, especially if you felt like there was a bit of a disconnect at any point today. To just start to bring ourselves into this place of rest, this place of clarity, fluidity. Let your body rest heavy, allowing the surface of the earth to hold you up. And then slowly just make your way back to your belly. And slide your left hand beside your shoulder. Right arm extends out, right cheek to your mat. Right arm is straight or cactus or diamond shape. but your right shoulder stays rooted on your mat. Pressing into your left hand, begin to roll yourself over towards your right hip. Find a depth that's appropriate for your body. And then just simply breathe. Notice how the breath is inviting you to slow down, maybe to relax, to simply let go. Roll yourself back onto your belly. Hands can cradle your chin or cheek. Pick up your feet and drop your feet over to the left and over to the right. Release tops of your feet onto your mat and just simply pencil roll yourself onto your back from either side. Try to use as little movement as possible as we start to slow down the practice. And then once you've landed on your back, just take knees into chest and give yourself a giant hug. It might feel nice to gently rock side to side a couple of times. Happy baby, you can take hands onto shins and separate knees. You can reach for inside or outside edges of your feet. But just using this pose to shake out those last few movements of the practice. So it might be extending toes together overhead or wide, bending or straightening out the legs. But always kind of nice just to have those moments of movement before you land into stillness. Release the grip of your hands from your feet. Take your knees back in towards your chest. And then release the the bottoms of your feet onto your mat. Pressing into your feet, shift your hips up and over to the left. Take your arms wide. Knees can come into chest, and then slowly lower your knees over to the right. Optional to take blocks in between your legs or underneath for that extra support. If there's a different variation you're craving, you're welcome to find that as well. And take 3 more deep, full belly breaths. On your next inhale, lift your knees back up through center. Release the soles of your feet down. And shift hips into the middle of your mat again. If there's any movements you're craving, knees side to side or knees to chest. And when you're ready, you'll just press into the soles of your feet. Pick your hips up and over to the right. Knees in towards your chest. And then slowly lower your knees over to the left. Gaze falls the opposite direction as long as that's comfortable for the neck. Both shoulders rooted. And take about 4 more deep, slow breaths. Lift your knees back up through center. And release the soles of your feet down. Place your hips back into the middle of your mat. And then you can just start to extend your legs out. Arms might come down beside you. Shavasana. If you do need any final movements for your practice, just taking them now so that Shavasana is a place that you can really sink into rather than feel like there's something more that needs to be shifted or done. And then once you have landed in Shavasana, come back in greater tune with your breath. You might be listening for the sounds of your breath. Just feeling it flow throughout your body. Maybe in these last few moments, you just send some gratitude to your body for everything that it went through this morning. For the moments that you showed up that maybe normally you wouldn't, maybe you talk yourself out of, or the moments you showed up and maybe you rather wouldn't have wanted to. That this practice really, it's about showing up and about cultivating self-love, not about the pose, especially in these challenging practices. It's about how we show up for ourselves. And if today you don't feel like you fully showed up, can you send some both forgiveness and compassion to yourself along this journey? To recognize that this isn't always easy work to land on our mats, physically, but even more so mentally. And can you honor that sometimes it's okay to fall out of that path? So it doesn't really matter how your practice went today, but that right here, right now, you can show up. Send yourself love for the moments that you'd rather push away or pretend didn't happen. Send yourself gratitude for whatever your body is capable of. And then let go of the judgment. Let go of the not good enoughs. Let go of any attachment to self-worth. And just simply be in this moment of serenity. If you want to close off practice here on your back, you are so welcome to. If you'd prefer to close off in seated, you can roll to your right side for relaxation or your left side for energy, whatever you feel like you need throughout the rest of your day. And you can slowly start to press yourself up to a comfortable seat and just land your hands at heart center. Allowing everything that happened this morning just to wash through the body and then out, almost like a cleansing breath to start your day. Then take a giant inhale breath through your nose, fill all the way up, and then exhale, just completely release. From the bottom of my heart to each and every one of yours. Namaste. Thank you guys for joining in this morning. I know it was a bit of a spicy practice, but I promise there was a reason for it. For those of you I won't see, have a beautiful rest of your Tuesday. And for those of you that I will see, let's meet back at 8:05. And yeah, we'll get into some fun stuff today. Also, I apologize if the music was a little strange. I think my playlist skipped a bunch of songs. So if it got really slow when we were in really hard poses, Spotify